double whammy of the posterior and the anterior joint capsule. And what we're doing to take slack out of the system to improve internal rotation as well as extension. So internal rotation in an extended position and extension in an internally rotated position. Upper extremity fixated behind us. We've previously seen this for our bias to go after the anterior joint capsule for extension. Upper extremity positioning will be important on this, in that we're going to preset in an internally rotated position. So where we were before was this, where we're going to be now is here. Height of the anchor point will differ. We'll start low and creep our way on up. So we're going to start us off, start a little bit, maybe down by the butt and the hip or the waistline. Internally rotated position. And I'm just going to, it's fairly aggressive. We want to work on just getting the motion. Just a little right anterior lunge. A little right anterior lunge. We can start to add a head, nose, and eyes driver with as we transition posterior to anterior. We can use a little pendulum swing in the sagittal plane. Reset in an internally rotated position with the right upper extremity, swing down and back, up overhead, and we can add a little frontal plane, pendulum swing. Transverse plane. Preset RXX, sagittal plane with the upper extremity, nose, head, and eyes, top-down drivers, and frontal plane. Hip excursion with the frontal plane hip excursion, pendulum swing of the upper extremity, transverse plane. Pendulum swing. And we'll transition in terms of our lunges. Let's add a little more frontal and transverse plane, kind of hybrid in the mix. The little right anterior medial lunge. And little right anterior lateral lunge. So, in terms of being an internally rotated position, going after the posterior joint capsule, pre-positioned in an extended position as well, goes after the anterior. And as we transition with our hybrid plane lunges right here, we'll be getting a little bit more of the motion of an AD duction as we go right anterior lateral and right anterior medial, and AB duction at that joint capsule. We can preset with those same positions with our hip excursions, frontal, sagittal, as well as transverse. We'll go anterior medial, still in an internally rotated position, frontal, and transverse. And in those same positions, we can use the hip excursion with the pendulum swing and head, nose, and eyes driver. And transverse plane, anterior lateral, and anterior medial, or sagittal, frontal, transverse. Height of the anchor point can change. Weight, butt height, up the thoracic spine, terms of our anchor point. We take more slack out of the system, we need to be a little bit more gentle. The direction of which we're moving in relation to our anchor point has been directly behind us. We can take the slack out of the transverse plane, so for internal rotation a little bit more here, and that I'm not anchored with this directly behind me anymore. I can do everything we just did, turn and rotate to the left maybe 45 degrees to take a little more slack out of the transverse plane. With this, I can go through my lunges, anterior, anterolateral, anterior, medial. I can go through my frontal, transverse plane, hip excursions, my upper extremity drivers / pendulum swings, which is taking the slack out of the system a bit more, taking away the gunkiness.